Okay, we have a 1850 point battle report for you. I'm playing my Eldar in a mixed mechanized type of army, and I'm facing Space Marines over there. They're on a table back there. A lot of vehicles, a lot of squads. It's on a board. The only thing that's on the board for the Space Marines is 5 dudes. The only thing I have on the board is my troop unit of Wraithguard and Eldrad. And everything else is flying on. Nothing is, reserving. We have 10 white warp spiders, 6 dire Avengers in here, 6 dire Avengers in here, 5 fire dragons with Exarch in here, and I have Yriel as well in my army. And unless my opponent wants to steal initiative, no, he didn't steal initiative, so I'm going first, and we'll be back in a bit. Okay, so top of turn 1 for Eldar, what happened? Fortune on the squad there. Fortune on Eldrad separately as well, and then he joined this unit that flew on of warp spiders. Yriel walked on and joined that unit, and together the unit ran. Over here, flew flat out with the dire Avengers with dual guns, flew flat out with the wave Serpent with fire dragons, and flew flat out over here from this table edge with those dire Avengers. And that is it. On to turn 1 for Space Marines. Okay, so rounding up bottom of turn 1 for Space Marines, some stuff moved on, popped smoke over here, cruising speed, popped smoke, cruising speed. Tried to fire with the Land Raider, but couldn't see this wave Serpent that went flat out. Tried to fire with that Typhoon, couldn't see here. Devastator squad moved on, ran up to the edge of the building. There's a couple guys up on the rafters, a couple guys back there. Predator moved in, tried to fire back here, but couldn't see. And those guys moved out and then ran to the edge, into that hedge maze over there. So pretty uneventful turn, just like Eldar turn. On to turn 2, where the real action begins. Okay, so rounding up top of turn 2, what happened? Fortune on this squad, Fortune on this squad. Guide on these guys. They moved up, fired into the vehicle with smoke, managed to get to 1 penetration and 2 glances through, but only made it so he just can't move or shoot this turn. These guys just ran up a few inches and repositioned. This thing flew back over here. Its gun was out of range for anything over there. This guy came over here, missed over there. This guy came over here, penetrated through over here, but just made it so he can't shoot. Got through the cover save with 1 penetration. And that was pretty much it. These guys warp jumped back, didn't roll any doubles, and they're back behind here. And it's on to bottom of turn 2 for Space Marines. Rounding up bottom of turn 2, what happened here for Space Marines? Stern Guard drove up, popped out, gunned into the Wraithguard, but after all of our fortune saves, could only kill 1 Wraithguard. No other wounds stuck there. Some shooting from the last cannons into here, but couldn't get through the cover save. Shooting into this squad over here, but couldn't get through my rerollable cover and armor save on the warp spiders. Shooting from that guy into here, but couldn't penetrate. And that was about it. Yeah, that was about it. So we got away scot-free. 1 Wraithguard died, but we got pretty lucky there. Well, we did have fortune up, so that's usually the way it goes here. And we're on to top of turn 3. You can pick. Okay, so just rounding up top of turn 3, what happened? Fortune here, Doom on those guys. Both squads had to do it, but eventually we gunned them all down, including the commander of the Space Marine force there. So shooting into here, but only 1 wound caused, cover save made. Shooting into that guy, nothing hit. And these guys teleported back here, didn't roll doubles. The Terminators still haven't shown up, but the transport with scout guys has shown up. And my opponent rolled a 5 or 6, so we can pick whichever table edge he wants to bring it on. Terminators, yes, we're still waiting for those guys to deep strike. So back with bottom of turn 3, rounding up bottom of turn 3 for Space Marines. This thing tank shocked and unfortunately got immobilized as it reached the terrain there. These guys moved away, they're fearless. Shooting from the last cannons into here, but I made my cover save on this vehicle. This guy got, so he can't move or shoot, however, of course he has armor, so he's still moving, but he can't shoot this turn. This guy, these guys flew on from this side, unloaded a bunch of, I think a bunch of bolter fire actually managed to blow away both my Shuriken cannon and my pulse laser. I'm left with the missile launcher though. And that was it. Some shooting against the Wraithguard from multiple frag missiles, but they just couldn't get through my fortunate cover saves there. And that is it. So we're on to, these guys moved out a little bit and ran a few inches. So they're troops, and I'm pretty sure these guys are troops too, right? Yeah, so there's some troops converging on this objective there. And it is on to top of turn 4. Okay, rounding up top of turn 4, what happened? Fortune on this squad, fortune on these guys. These guys moved forward, they were guided, they gunned into that unit of Devastator squad, killed 4 of them, including the sergeant, but 1 missile launcher guy remains. They then warp jumped back into here. These guys are actually here. We just can't, I just don't want to take the time to try to physically put them inside there, so they're actually in there. 1 guy died from dangerous terrain as they went inside there. There's a few guys out here. These guys went in here, managed to wreck this vehicle with their shooting from their Wraith cannons and other stuff. This guy here tried to fire in on that guy, but couldn't do anything to it. Over here we flew cruising speed, because we only had 1 gun to fire anyways. We tried to fire the missile at this thing. but missed terribly with it, and we are within 3 of that objective there, so we're trying to hold that, or trying to contest that at least. This guy couldn't shoot, so he just shimmied a little bit to have a, so he, have a better line of sight against shooting against him, and that was it. So on to bottom of turn, a little mid-bottom of turn 4 wrap-up, because there's a close combat starting. The Honor Guard decided to come out of their transport, charged in here, tried to fire pistols, didn't kill anybody. The vehicle moved up and did some stuff. Also, the Terminators finally showed up, and they ran this over here. They're very close to my dudes. We're going to have a combat there, so back in a bit. Okay, so rounding up, bottom of turn 4, no surprise. Honor Guard just killed 6 of these guys outright, because we don't have any invulnerable save. Exarch wasn't able to put any wounds on those guys, and then regular guys couldn't put any wounds on those guys either. I don't even think I caused a single wound to him. He chopped through me. We did run away, but we're just flying off the board now because we're below half. What else happened in this turn? Terminators flew in, ran over here. This thing moved up, tried to use his assault cannon against his vehicle here. The last cannons from that guy eventually made it so he can't shoot over here. This guy flew out 24 from over there, trying to contest this objective on his next turn. He's very close to contesting that one. Over here, these lucky guys, I had put my back up against the wall. I had a cover save against shooting. Nothing happened from shooting. But then somehow these guys charged in, and with their grenades, even though he needed 6s, he managed to get a pen and a glance, and eventually I exploded. Double 6s rolled on the penetration. So just some stroke of luck for the Marines over there. These guys were not pinned. 2 of them did die though. Explosion put only 1 wound onto those guys and 2 wounds on these guys. Didn't cause any failed saves though. Oh, okay, I killed 1 scout. There you go. What else? Some shooting into this guy. Sorry, into this guy here. A lot of stuff. Oh, some shooting into this guy, but cover saves are all made. So we're on to top of turn 5 coming up. It's actually the Space Marines have made it in to try to tie it up, so we're going to see. Okay, so rounding up top of turn 5, what happened? We doomed the Terminators, doomed those guys. Didn't actually end up shooting anything at them, but I want them doomed just because I know they're going to charge me, so I want them to be doomed. We fired Meltas, fired those things, just gunned them all down. Gunned them all down. Over here, this guy moved up over here, tank shocked into those guys, pushed him away a little bit, didn't get immobilized by crashing through the building. This guy flew away, 12, fired into here, managed to make it so this guy can't move or shoot. So I spared myself for turn 5, so he won't be able to contest there. Over here, these guys moved in, fired into here, killed 1 guy, charged in. We gong show combat though, no wounds caused on either side, so kind of a weak combat there. And that was it. These guys only went 6 inches, so they actually had a chance to fire and put some wounds on the Terminators, but we didn't actually kill anything with their shots. So that's it. They're going to be off the board next turn. And okay, so we're going to have to end the game here at the bottom of turn 5. My opponent has to go again, but what happened here, these guys moved in here, shot it, charged it, just made it so we can't shoot, so they're contesting there. These guys charged my Dire Avengers, but because of defend, we only lost 1 guy, they lost 1 guy, so we tied combat there, so that's contested. So that's contested as well. This one over here, they just moved out. They had a choice of charging me, in which case they would get slaughtered because Yriel's there, I got Wraithguard there, Eldrad is back here. So they tried to get 2 inches from the vehicle, and they did, but they were just out of this objective. So if this was a real game, then we would have just managed to squeak in there 1-0. But again, we have to end it before we rolled for turn 5, so be it. But a pretty good game and a good close battle again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Yeah, we're coming up with very close games.
Yeah.